What is up? What is up? What is going on? I want to lead off with this is not a diss video. Obviously, Elite Redux is a freaking phenomenal game. So much time and so much care, if you look through this decks, has been put on every single line, it seems like. So, this is not disrespectful. This is not this video. None of that. Nothing but love to the creator. This is my personal taste. And this is where I was personally like, this could have been better. All right. And I'm gonna start out number five. So we're gonna count down from 5 to 1, right? So five being the least disappointing, number one being like my biggest disappointment. All right, so number five is we're gonna start with Surskit here. And Surskit's not the one I want to talk about, but I want to talk about its ability, Water Bubble, as an innate. Has fire damage taken, which is cool. It gives it a resistance effectively to fire, even though it's got a bug type. And then it doesn't get burned, which is all right. Not really that big of a deal, but you know, it's cool. And then it doubles the power of water moves. And I want you to hold on to that because we're going to talk about Masquerain. All right. So, Masquerain, if I can click buttons, there we go. Masquerain loses Water Bubble. And when I talk about this list being my personal favorites, Masquerain's one of my personal favorite Pokemon from Generation 3. I get it getting Aerialist. I get it gaining Majestic Moth. Even Compound Eyes. I just feel like Compound Eyes should have been moved to its abilities, not its innates. Like that should have been a choice ability. Whereas Water Bubble should have been retained because now it's just losing a lot of that power. It only has 100 special attack, right? So now you're choosing between speed and special attack. You could have had both. Realistically, you could have gone a timid nature and then use water bubble as a way to get extra power out of your water stab there, which I am very grateful that they made it a water type, and that's why it's kind of very low on my list of things that I see as disappointments because it is a water type at least. Like I'm very happy about that. And speaking of all the bug types in general got better typings, it seems. Like Butterfree becoming Bug Psychic or Beautifly becoming Bug Fairy. There's a lot of bugs in this game that got better typings. So that's number five for me. Is going to be Masquerain. Number four, you probably see this coming on this list because I talked about it in my last video. Ledian. All right. So why was I so upset with Ledian? It's not with Ledian itself. Ledian is a phenomenally buffed Pokemon. All right. Ledian got like arguably the best buffs out of any general Pokemon just in and of itself. All right. So why is it on my disappointments list? All right. I want to talk about Pokemon families, right? And when I talk about families, I'm talking about ties. All right. So if you don't know, when Gold and Silver came out, you could get a Ladian and a Lady Bob, I believe, in Silver version. And if you play Gold version, you could get Spinarak and Ariados. So here's what happened in Elite Redux. Ladian did get fantastic buffs. Like this is great. This is amazing. Ariados got an entire new evolution though. 550 base stat total. I'm just saying 550 base stat total. New form. Come on now. It's different. It's just it's now it's discombobulated because now you have the same problem that we used to have outside of Elite Redux in canon with Electabuzz and Magmar getting evolutions and Jinx not getting one, right? Why these two families are supposed to be tied together, Lady and Ariados, and one gets a complete evolution and the other one just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. So that's my only thing about Ladian. Otherwise, it's a great Pokemon. Like Ladian got ridiculously good buffs. It did get great buffs, but it didn't get another extra 60 in base stat total. You can't run Eviolite on it. So I'm just saying. All right. Number three. Here's number three. And this one hurts my heart. This one really hurts my heart. Regular Raichu. Um, Goodness gracious. What is there to say about this? It kind of gets smoked by every other Chew in the game. Um, and most of the Pika clones as well. What? Yes, it becomes a ground type, which is okay, I guess. Um, but at the end of the day, it doesn't know overcharge, which some of these things do know. Yeah, overcharge is nice to make electric super effective against electric. That would have been cool, but it's just a strictly worse version of everything else, which is really the point. Like, yes, it gets ground type, but it doesn't really. What is it going to use ground type against except other electrics? Because it already gets smite. So why does it? You know what I'm saying? It gets smite. It gets ground shock. Um, it doesn't really need much. Static is a terrible innate for a final form. Um, yeah, it could have had something different going on for itself. And I get that it happens on contact from you as well. But again, how often are you going to be trying to make contact with Raichu? Um, and the worst part of that, Alolan Raichu gets Electro Surge as a choice ability, and it also gets Surge Surfer, so that it's basically always got a choice scarf. What? What? So this thing's running around with a choice scarf and electro. By the way, it's going to get a boost to its electric attacks from Electro Surge. Um, it gets levitate, so it's just a straight up immune to ground, and it gets a little bit of flying. Like, look how much better this is, and it still gets ground shock, so it doesn't even, you know what I'm saying? Whereas Raichu, yes, ground shock is a cool ability. Um, Static is so bad. Short circuit, I almost want to say it shouldn't have got short circuit. Like, give it something better. Like, seriously. Like, it has nothing to deal with just being Raichu. Like, I don't know how to fix this. This is going to be the one that I don't have any recommendations on because I don't know how to fix this. It's just bad. Like, it just doesn't feel like the ground part of it is good enough to justify using it. Like, okay, cool, you got Earthbound, so you can boost. But why would I use that? You know what I'm saying? Like, there, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. I just don't feel like this is a good Pokemon in any way, shape, or form. Like, it's just not. There's no real, because ground doesn't even affect grass types. Like, it's not very effective against grass, which electric was already not very effective against. Uh, what are we doing here? It's not like, yeah, yeah. Raichu being a ground type could have been cool. It could have been cool. It should have been explored just a little bit more. Um, they should have developed it just a little bit more, in my opinion. I think that they kind of phoned it in with Raichu. I'm gonna keep it real. And again, this is not this video. It's not disrespect. I love this game. I love everything about what they're doing and everything they've done. It's freaking amazing. So again, if I come off wrong, I apologize completely. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really mean that, like, for real. I just, yeah, yeah. When these are going, we're getting into the real disappointments for me. Like, yeah, Raichu, man. Oh my gosh, dang, that's unfortunate for Raichu here. Uh, all right. So number two, we're gonna stay in Kanto. All right. And by the way, if I'm doing this based on my personal opinions. So if there was a Pokemon that I saw and it was like, yeah, that's kind of trash, but I didn't care because it's not one of my favorite Pokemon, then I just didn't include it on this list because this is my personal list. Obviously, you can find a Pokemon not good and be like, oh, it could have been better. Yeah, it could have been better. But I don't care that it could have been better because it's not one of my favorite Pokemon. Number two, Flareon. All right, and I'm going to tell you about what could have been better. Jolteon, not one of my favorite Pokemon, but it's okay. It could definitely been better, but it also was like OU for like the first three generations of Pokemon competitive. It also, honestly, it doesn't need as much help as Flareon does. It has 130 base speed and it has 110 base special attack. It'll be fine. Even if it doesn't get good stuff, it'll be fine. All right. Flareon, on the other hand, good lord. Okay, this one I actually thought out a lot about what I would do to try to fix this. And the biggest problem I can tell you off rip is that they didn't go all the way in on the guts quick feet thing. Why is rivalry in innate? This is trash. So what we could have did is we could have put guts here. All right, guts could have gone here, and then you can make rivalry a choice ability, but I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably go with something like, I don't know, Poison Hill or whatever. You know, something to give you, because ultimately you're going to end up running a Toxic Orb or something like that manner. Like you're going, you want to that, or Thick Fur or something like that. Fur coat. So, not thick fur. Wow. Why would you run thick fur? Fur coat. Fur coat, the one that reduces the physical damage you take in half. That could be cool too. Um, but something that gives you, you know, something to work with. Because here's your problem. You got guts, you got reckless, and you got flaming soul, all as choice abilities, which means you don't have the ability to deal damage with two things that go with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't run both guts for the damage and flaming soul for the priority. You can't run reckless for the recoil damage. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these things need to start going together. I'm so serious. Like so I would say guts needs to be an innate. It can just go with quick feet, or you could just do a combo innate of guts and quick feet. That could solve it by itself. Combo combine guts and quick feet into one innate, right? And then poison heal or fur coat. I think it's fur coat. Whatever, fluffy, whatever. Maybe not fluffy because fluffy makes you take double damage from whatever, but from fire. But yeah, just the ability to run guts, quick feet at the same time while also having the ability to also run either Flaming Soul or Reckless would be nice, especially Flaming Soul, because on your entry turn into battle, you're going to want to get that you're not going to have Toxic Orb your entry turn in the battle if you start off with Flareon, right? So having that guaranteed what is it? Priority would be nice. So you start off the turn with priority, and then boom, you do damage, and you're good. Because Flareon has a ton of problems. And also, I see that they changed the base stat total a bit. It, it used to be a little bit worse. Like special attack was too high, so I see that they changed the speed to 110, which is a lot better for Flareon actually. Um, but still, the defense and special defense are just so low. It's like ouch. Yeah, and yeah, you really want more. Again, it's not a diss. That's just what I would think I would do. Um, and I'm not the one who create this game. I'm not that talented. So again, it's not a diss from the heart. No disrespect. None of that. All right. Um, last one. Well, actually, not last one. We're going to do a special. What is it? A special mention? Yeah, this is like an honorable mention. I went too far. Okay, here we go. I want to use. I don't know if I spin a rack. There we go. There we go. Why? No. Okay. Let's actually. There we go. All right, Spinda. All right, so what's the problem with Spinda? Its base stat total is 360. That's why it's my honorable mention. That's pretty much it. Why doesn't it have a base stat total of 360? That's the thing with Spinda, is that it has all 60 in all stats, so that's base stat total is 360. If you want to make it a viable Pokemon, you kind of just have to give it abilities that make it broken, honestly. Like, yeah, simple is good. Field Explorer is probably okay. Contrary's probably okay. I don't know if it gets anything that's useful for that. Contrary. Well, got Psycho Boost, but meh. Um, I would honestly just say, never mind all that other stuff. Speed Boost, Speed Boost, Pure Power, Huge Power. What does Huge Power do in this game? Like, because I gotta look up a zoomer reel because it gets what? Pure Power, Huge Power. It gets Huge Power. Okay, who gets Pure Power? Is it Metacham? It does not get. Okay, Metacham doesn't get Pure Power anymore. Or it does Pure Power. Oh, it's still just attack. Okay, cool. Yeah, if there was a version of that for special attack, yeah, give that to Spinda and then also give it Pure Power. Like also give it Huge Power, Pure Power, whichever one. Like just give it all the broken stuff, but keep its base stat total at 360. Like that's how you handle Spinda. Um, all right, but we're done talking about Spinda. The true number one on this list, the actual number one. Look what they did to my boy Emolga here. All right, we got to talk about Emolga for a few minutes here. And again, this is not disrespect. This is not a diss video. The mod author is super talented. I mean, absolutely no type. It's all love, no disrespect. All right, it's all love. Very talented, put in a lot of work, doing great work out there. This is why I want to talk about Emolga though, because I gotta talk about this real quick. Nothing on this Pokemon goes together. Sorry about that. Nothing on this Pokemon goes together. All right, so despite its special attack being buffed, it did get a special attack buff, which is nice because its special attack used to be non-existent. Only 2 of its 6 abilities are actually of any type of use. All right, that's Motor Drive. I clicked on Static again. This is the second time I'm going to talk about Static being useless. Motor Drive and I don't even remember what the second one was. It's one of these though. Like I think it was I don't know if it was electrocytes or gluttony. It might have been gluttony. Either way, it's only got one ability I can name off the top of my head of like, yes, that makes perfect sense for this Pokemon. Everything else, garbage. Garbaggio. Like, why does it have these abilities? Aerodynamics. You already resist flying. Why do you need to be immune to it? And then to get more speed when your speed is already base 125. Now, granted, I get having motor drive on aerodynamics is because okay, you're trying to land electro balls. Got it. Stab electro ball is great. Um, but they don't really go together. And number 2, you're relying on your enemy to use a flying or electric move to as your like standard mode of operation. Like this is how you are doing business. Like you like what if you're going up against a fire gym or a grass gym or any trainer that isn't trying to use electric uh or wind moves against you, especially if they have good AI, they're not going to use wind moves against you or flying moves, excuse me. So aerodynamics makes 0 sense on this Pokemon. I highly recommend replacing. Um, okay, so here's what I do. I would say static and aerodynamic get removed as innate. They aren't needed. Motor drive can stay because it does give you the immunity to electric. That's cool. Um, you replace those. So you replace static with air blower because we want to be fast for our 110 special attack, 125 speed plus tailwind electro ball. That makes perfect sense. You want to be as fast as possible for that. That's a great combo. And then if you manage to swap it on the motor drive, you're stupid fast. So no matter what you're going up against, especially if it's electric type, because electrics tend to be fast, it's going to let you be pretty fast. Now, granted, you don't have what is it, ground shock, so you can't really do anything with that. But Maybe we can throw ground shock on the other side with the choice abilities. All right. And then I will replace aerodynamics with slipstream. And slipstream is an ability in this game that adds, if I'm not mistaken, 20% of your speed to whatever attack you're going to use. Okay. So you got all this speed going. Now, remember we got air blowers, so we got tailwind behind us. We have the potential to have motor drive. Um, we're using electro ball, and then on top of that, we get slipstream to boost it by another 20% using our speed stat. Freaking phenomenal! It's a one trick pony, but it's a one trick pony that has an actual purpose, right? That those are things that go together. Um, and then on the other side, I look at stuff like Wind Rider, for boosting its attack during Tailwind. Probably, I don't know what to replace. I was just saying in my notes. I said, Keen Eye, for Hurricane, mostly. Um, that'd be nice for to have. And then Wind Rider. If you didn't know, in this game, Keen Eye improves your accuracy by 20%. So Hurricane would be like 90%, 96% accurate. Not bad. But Wind Rider would be nice. I don't know what to replace. Uh I know Electrocytes and Generator just seems like they're kind of just annoying. Like they're kind of just why. You don't get any electric terrain or anything. Yeah. You definitely replacing that. That's trash. Um Electrocytes? Maybe Electrocytes can stay. Because we were talking about Wind Rider and Kenai. Yeah, just straight damage could stay. I don't want to give it ground shock because I think ground shock would be too much. I think that's at that point it'd be overtuned. But I think where I left it, yeah, Electrocytes, Wind Rider, and Keen Eye's choices. So you could choose accuracy, you could choose a little bit more power, or you could choose more power for your electric moves. Um, because yeah, I don't think Generator is any good. Gluttony could also be okay, but again, I don't think you're really going to want to use too many bear. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to use a Salic Berry to go faster. I don't know. Um, that might be cool. But yeah, that's all I have for this. I hope you've enjoyed my complaints. As always, I've been me. You've been awesome. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.